Sunday, March 6th, and today is this is really cool. So GC Sports has gone into a new direction. I'm your CEO, Aquataddy. Co-host with me today is going to be Justin Shackett.
Hello, hello. I'm here.
And then we have numerous of the upcoming seasons captains in here to join us. These captains, have picked every car in the game in the Cup Series that allots you to be driven via the real games. This is to include the Pro League cars. And then after they did that, we picked every driver of 40 plus on the custom and 40 plus on the slider side. And the captains have all drafted. And the draft has already happened, but now is when we're going to give a recap of who's on what team. Should be pretty exciting and should let all the people know where they landed. And yeah, I'm getting an echo from one of you guys. I don't know who it is.
I'm not sure.
Justin, over to you. This should be pretty good, yeah?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the driver lineups and kind of get an idea of where everybody's going. I think it's going to be a great season all the way around again. I'm excited to have bigger fields and excited to see what comes up.
Yeah, so before we even get into this, for two things. One, Dencake, can you start sharing this link in all the chats so everybody can get in?
I'm on it right now.
And then next to that, some really interesting stuff. We've seen some teams during this draft that... All right, somebody has the stream going on in the background.
Yeah, I just turned it down.
Right, so... Some captains are custom setup drivers, and they loaded their team with other custom setup drivers to work with them and make that side of their team fast. Some of them are slider drivers and did the exact opposite. They went with all sliders, or a slider driver picked all custom, vice versa. And then we even have one team that didn't even pick up any custom setup drivers at all. So, yeah. So I guess we're gonna get ready to go after this. Fire Slayer out there on YouTube, thanks. Good morning. It's afternoon now. It's literally noon is when we started this. All right, so first captain we're going to talk about is not in this chat, so we're just I'll explain, or I'll say who he drafted. The number one team captain for this, he won the title this last season, so he got the first draft in cars or drivers, but we randomized the car pick. But Private Patton did pick just the Penske cars. He only has 3 cars in the game. He has the 2, the 12, and the 22, and he had the first overall pick in the draft, and he went with Mo Power Cat. Second round, he signed Monster Racing, and he did not sign any more drivers. That's all he picked, and he went with slider only. He has slider only, and has 0 drivers on the slider side. Custom side. Dang it, I'm so confused already. Right, so let me rephrase that again. He picked all slider drivers, 0 custom setup drivers. So the Penske Fords will only be seen on Tuesdays, and that's going to be really hard for him to come back and win the team title unless he somehow wins every race on the slider side. That would be when it goes to you, Shackett.
Yeah, for me, that was kind of interesting when I first heard a little bit about that. Most captains want both series just so they can have a better chance in both series to go after the title, but I think we all know Patton is a slider guy. I haven't really raced with him much on, the aspect of custom, so I think his team is definitely going to be another strong team next year. And, being a defending champion, he's probably going to have more of an outlook and more of a pressure on his team, because most of these teams now that are new are going to want to knock him off the top level.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see any way possible for him to defend his title, only having one side. He would literally have to win and get second in everything, right? Because unlike last season it was just your highest finisher per team on their night. This time it's going to be your 2 drivers, and they can receive stage points for you and everything. And so he's going to be behind the ball, not being able to receive those points. Some teams might not have a guy that makes the race, right? Might miss out on qualifying, but at the end of the day, they're still going to get some points, whereas he'll be receiving 0 on that one night. So yeah. All right, we're gonna go over to the second team of the draft. Also, captain not in here, Flash 9. He Flash Mafia. That's the team name there. He went with the Junior Motorsports Pro League cars, the 7 and the 88, as well as the Starcom Chevrolet of the 00. This was an interesting one. Surprised to say the least, big shocker as far as the draft was concerned, but the second overall pick in the 2022 draft was Guardian. Last season he was a C driver on the slider side and a B driver in the custom, and Flash actually picked him for the slider side and didn't realize that he was even eligible for the custom setup side. Fire Slayer out there in YouTube land, he will be driving the number 7 Junior Motorsports machine on the slider side. Flash 9, of course, also on the custom side. He'll be racing the 7, and then Bad Fast Marley driving that 88 Pro League car for Flash Mafia. So yeah, should pretty good little team there.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about that too, because like you said, Guardian was a C driver last year, and to be picked that early in the draft is definitely, you know, an owner saying, hey, I'm putting my trust in you. I saw good potential for you last season in C. I want to see what you can bring to the highest level next season.
Yeah, actually, Flash got to drop, right? So we let the captains drop down. Well, actually, last season it was anybody that was in a higher series could drop for one race per season. So Flash 9 actually dropped and ran Martinsville the week before the custom side went there for the playoffs, basically to get some practice. And he was running there with Guardian on the custom side. They were side by side a lot of the times, and he still had no idea that he was even there. But yeah, checking him out on the slider side on the C group and seeing potential. Hopefully now Guardian can live up to expectation as the number 2 overall draft pick. All right, then I'm gonna go Warpig. You are in here, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so he's going to be the next one. He was the 3rd overall pick, as the Gibbs team did not finish 3rd in team points. Rick Ware Racing finished 3rd, but I am no longer a captain, so that automatically bumped me out and puts Warpig as the number 3 draft pick. With the cars, however, he went with the Wood Brothers number 21, and then the front row machines of the 34, the 36, and the 38. Warpig, I'm going to send it over to you so you can say who you drafted, what car they'll be in, as well as, you know, if you just want to say something about the drivers or not, doesn't really matter, but it's all yours.
All right. So yeah, my first pick was Mike RPM for customs. He'll be in the 21. Second pick was Racehead for custom in the 34. I'm going to be in both, so unfortunately I had to pick me. Part of me says maybe I should have just went down to see and stacked my team, but on the slider side, my 3rd pick was Bad For You in the 38, and then T White was my last pick in the 34 for sliders. So I have me plus 2 in custom, me plus 2 in sliders. I'm really excited about my custom side. Well, I'm excited about my whole team. I think for me, sliders, we're going to need to kind of step it up. I have 2 guys in custom last year from the A that were in the championship. I have the champion, so pretty excited about that. And the fact that I might have a car open in slider is also a good thing. So maybe one of them might want to jump over. But yeah, other than that, we got a lot of work ahead of us. Honestly, there's some good teams out there, great drivers. This is going to be interesting, and you know, I just hope we can avoid some stuff and stay up front and collect points on both slider and custom. So, but really excited about my team. I think it's balanced. You know, I think our strong side obviously is the custom, but that just means the slider side we're gonna put some work in. What I really love though is the team. I've already talked to them, and the amount of sharing. I mean, just in the league period, the amount of sharing information is awesome. So it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, before we send it over to you, Justin, for your thoughts on this, I got to say real quick, well, I heard you mention, Warpig, that hopefully one of your custom guys could slide over because you'll have a car, an open car. Unfortunately, that is not possible. One of your drivers on the custom side, unless they drop and race the Xfinity and work their way up in points, they are not eligible to run in the right. So people had to have earned their way into this position. Now, I will say that there is options later on in the season, depending on if some of these guys start dropping out of the league and series because they can't qualify in. There is a possibility of us opening up draft picks or waiver wire picks for the top 12 in the Xfinity series, but that's to be determined. That is not something that is finalized now. But I'm going to send it over to you, Justin, on your thoughts of the Warpig team.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for Warpig's team. Obviously, I got the pleasure of racing with Warpig last season in A Sliders. I don't know. I'm torn because I look at Warpig as a very consistent, clean driver. You know, obviously it's a plate track. Last season, him and I worked really well together. He's known for plate track racing. When it came to kind of mile and a half and races like that, he was kind of just situated in the back. So I'm excited to see what his slider team can bring to kind of the heavy hitters of A Slider next season. Because they definitely want to see some underdog teams work their way up into the championship and maybe you know, knock some of these high caliber teams out of the playoffs early and make it, you know, a more interesting playoffs.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I actually think that one of the drivers to watch in the Slider series is actually on Warpig's team. Bad for you, had he been eligible via his schedule, would have already been in the A series, right? He's always been one of the top 10, top 12 drivers down there in the C group. Unfortunately, until this season, he's never been able to run during the week. He's always been a weekend warrior, basically, for league racing, and his schedule just changed to where he's going to be eligible on Tuesdays. So this is the first time we're going to see Bad for You ever in, whether it was Giggity or Cringe or now GC Sports. This is going to be the first time ever we've seen him be able to race against the top guys simply because of a schedule change. And so I really think that right now, put it on your calendar that I'm marking it. Bad for You is going to be one of the drivers to watch this season for title hopes entering 2022. So I think that was a really good pick there, Warpig. And you got him in the third or fourth round, so great job there.
No, I reckon that, you know, I've raced with him, even Mike RPM, 3 years ago. I mean, you know, these guys have been doing it for a long time, and you kind of just recognize the names. Although I haven't raced with him for a while, but yeah, I'm hoping he could help me out too a little bit on the slider. So hopefully it gets some help. And but yeah, you know, we definitely have our work cut out for us on the sliders for sure. Custom, we're looking real good, but you know, it's going to be a team effort on both spectrums, and hopefully we can just collect those points.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely back what you're saying, Taddy. I think if there's anybody in this upcoming season in A Slider that can definitely bring the heat to Patton, it's going to be Bad for You. He's not a driver that's consistently running up front, but he's very consistent and he can pull out wins. So I think I'm going to say mark it on the calendar too. I think Bad for You is definitely going to bring the heat to the Penske team next season.
Yeah, out there on YouTube real quick, since we've gone through 3 teams, give a shout out to the YouTube land. We got Fire Slayer out there watching. He said he gets overlooked. No, man, we didn't overlook you. You're over there on Flash's team. You and Guardian, that's going to be a pretty solid little unit. Fortunately, there's only 2 of you. We got S Salt Life out there. Thanks for tuning in. Brink UK Wildcats. Yep, we talked about him as one of the first overall draft pick. Brinkerhoff out there. He's trying to join us. Yeah, he does need to go to bed. Long Live the Sauce says we're live. Yes, we are. Thanks for tuning in. And Robbie Racing out there all the way from Australia out there tuning in, so that's cool.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Out there, and one of the questions is the Xfinity team. This is not on YouTube. This is in one of the chats, so I'm going to answer it here live on air. As far as Xfinity teams, we are not doing that. We had a thought of doing Xfinity teams, but we're not going to do that simply because there is an opportunity later on in the season of us opening up the door for the Xfinity drivers to just get signed and be able to move up. So because of that, we're not going to put you on a team. We're just, you may get drafted onto a team later on. JJ Peden, Jonathan out there. Freaking idiot. He's tuned into YouTube. Thank you. All right, Showtime, you got a copy? You, 4th pick in the, or 4th team here. You didn't do so hot last season. You ended up 5th overall. But again, with me stepping out, they give you the 4th pick, and with 12 teams, that says a lot that you had the 4th overall pick. So I'm going to leave it to you, but I got to go over your numbers first. He got the Hendrick Chevrolets, but there is 6 of them. A lot of people only think of 4, but here in the game, there's also 2 Pro League Hendrick Chevrolets. So his numbers are 5, the 9, the 24, the 25, the 48, and the 88. And Showtime, the floor is yours. Hey, hold on real quick. Are you on your phone? No, usually when somebody's on their phone, they can't really hear you in the broadcast. Do you, by any chance, do you have your PlayStation up and running where you could get on that mic? All right, yeah, just swap over as soon as you can, and then make sure your voice is on always loud because they can't hear you.
As always, I was late to the party. I just woke up. What teams did you already do?
We've done Patton, Flash, and Warpig so far. We're on the 4th team, and we're kind of going in draft order, right? So Chase will go next, and then you'll be right after him.
That's fine. I was just curious. Yes, people, that's right. It's 11 Central, and I got my ass out of bed. All right, I just like sleeping in on my day off.
Can somebody on YouTube let me know if you can hear him now? You gotta say something, Showtime. Did we just lose him?
I can't even hear him.
No, I can't hear him right now. Hello, Showtime. All right, well, we're having technical difficulties with Showtime, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll announce who he drafted, but we'll let him do his talking here in just a minute, right? So he's got Duha, Long Live the Sauce, DK Brown, and Brett the Jet. Pretty solid little group there. We're not going to go in depth on this one, Shackett, just because he should be joining us and again, and when he does, we'll go in depth on that team. So we're going to skip that, and we're going to go to Chase Beatty, GTR Beatty, the 2.0 drivers. He drafted the Stuart Haas cars. He also drafted the 32, but with the only trade so far already to happen this season, he has actually traded that 32 car away to get a driver. So interesting move there. But again, he's got the 4, the 10, the 14, and the 41. And I think this team is going to be one to be watched. I'll tell you here in a second. He got Piccola with his first pick. That's a good pick because Piccola's a dual threat. He runs both sliders and the customs. He got SBR Bridges in the second round. Now, to those that don't know, that used to be Nuka Bob Quantum. That's Owen Bridges. Really, really good, really fast driver. He kind of took a sabbatical this last season, so people didn't really recognize him, but he is a guy to watch on the custom side. He then got Street Machine. And then he made a trade to get GTR Jacob to help him and Piccola on the slider side. And then with his final pick, he ended up with Maverick to drive the 41. So he's got a full 4-car team on the custom side and a 3-car team on the slider. And that says a lot, right? Because we only had 4 or 5 rounds in the draft, and he ended up with a full team basically. So I think this is going to be one of the teams to watch. Over to you, Justin.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, that's one team, again, that I'm going to look out for. Obviously, on the slider side, there's huge heavy hitters, and if it has to come down to saving, we obviously know Pete Cola is going to be the guy to beat if it comes down to a fuel mileage race. He's done it in the past. I don't know how he does it. He's phenomenal at it. I'm definitely going to watch out for them, but I still think, I don't know, I mean, quote me if you want, I'll probably eat my words later in the season. I just don't know, with that team being newly formed, if it's going to be a threat to Patton's team.
I think 100% it's going to be for sure, because again, keep in mind Patton doesn't have the custom side, right? And this team is one that loaded up on the custom side, in my beliefs, with Street Machine, Maverick, Picola, SBR Bridges. That's a solid unit. And you spoke about Picola and his saving tactics. That's great. And with custom setups, it's really easy to save, right? So he might back down in anything that comes to a fuel strategy. Expect to see that 4-car up front. But on outright speed, SBR Bridges is guaranteed a top 5 driver. Street Machine, he's a really good fast driver. He struggled a little bit with gearing in the past. I think once they are able to help him and get that fixed, they'll be up front. But don't forget, on the slider side, Picola and Jacob, those two, I expect them to both make the show most of the season. And I'd say all 3 of those drivers are top 15 talent in the slider side. So I think that these guys are going to make moves, and it's kind of hidden talent kind of team that I expect to see up front in the team standings. All right, Showtime, you back yet? Guess not. All right, going on to our next team then. We're gonna go with Puddin, and oh, hold up. Oh, yep, Showtime just left. All right, Puddin drew the Richard Petty cars. That's the 43, but also has the Pro League car of Mike RPM's Pro League car, but it is the 44 car. And then he grabbed the Beard number 62 and the McLeod Racing number 678. I'm going to send it over to you, Puddin, to say who you drafted and give a little something about them. I can hear you, but in YouTube land, can you hear the guys doing the checking? But over to you, Puddin.
Yeah, for my first pick in the 43 car, I mean, there were slim pickings out there. I didn't really want to pick this guy. He's kind of a wild, out on the track. He's
That's no
very
joke.
sporadic and make some very dangerous moves. But
and he's blushing while you talk about him.
Yes, yeah. So I ended up taking the just checking out there that that dangerous piece on the track. 43. In all seriousness, no, Justin is, we've watched him race Giggity all the way up to now, and he has improved so much drastically. And another thing I look forward to is attendance. His attendance record is impeccable when you show up. You can't win if you're not there. You can't gain points if you're not there. So yes, Justin was the number 1 for me on that.
Boy, that's something you never expect to ever hear. Justin Shackett, your number 1 pick. Sorry. Go ahead though and continue with your drivers.
Try to reel it down here. Then for number 2.
No, you don't have to say in order who you drafted. Just say who you got.
I got Travis Easton. The concrete wall eater. I got Trav. He's gonna be on the custom side. Then I got Hegon. Pretty much don't know about him. I just picked it because I liked his name. Said Hegon. I like it. And then of course this, everybody has to have that heartfelt guy on their team. Everybody has to have that, and that was Dirt Dog for me. I felt bad for the Dirt Dog. I looked down at the last name and I was like, man, this guy, he's just gonna be okay. Come on, Tom. Come on, bring your green hat to the party. So. Pretty much it.
That's actually not it. You skipped one of your own drivers. You also drafted Tackleberry to drive the 44 car. So great captainship already, as he's forgotten his drivers.
God damn it, Puddin.
Tackleberry, all right.
So Justin, I'm gonna send it over to you. Of course, I'm gonna give more of an overall team relay on this one. Is that you might be favorite. Yeah, bias to this one being during it. So I see what he did here, and I think this is going to be a fun team. But as far as competing, whoever's got the broadcast in the background, I can hear that going, or it's my echo or something. I don't know. But anyways, as far as team speed, I expect this team to be more mid-pack. On a grade, I'd give it a B or a C, right? I see potential. Every driver on this team has potential, but I don't expect any one driver to be a top 5 weekly driver, but I think that overall in the team there's some pretty good talent to be shown. Tackleberry always up front. Shackett, there's a reason you were in the A for both sets this last season. Travis Tyson and Hegon on the custom side. I like Hegon. Travis, there's a reason we call him the concrete eater. He does have a few fast setups, but I think as far as the league is concerned, he still has a little improving to do. And Dirt Dog, I mean, he mutes himself on the track, right? So, right. But all in all, I mean, good picks. I think that's going to be a fun team, and hopefully they surprise us throughout the season. But Justin, I'm going to send it over to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm obviously excited to be back on the same team that I was last year. Kind of going off what Taddy and Punin was saying, you know, I've been here since the beginning of time. I'm excited to be the veteran driver on the customs or on the slider side to help my guys over there, kind of help them wherever I can with speed. Yes, I believe we're going to be more of a mid-pack, you know, maybe top 10 finisher here and there. But kind of my goal as a single driver this year is to keep consistent, keep getting points, and work my way to the second round of the playoffs. And, you know, I'm not looking to get a championship. I'm not looking to threaten the top
Okay, you're
teams
fired
for a
already.
championship.
Yeah, listen, maybe as the first pick of your team, you shouldn't have said I'm not looking for a championship. Just saying. Puddin just announced to me in my ear that Justin Shackett's up for trade for anybody that wants him.
Yeah, no, I'm
And he's
excited.
going cheap. He's going for his 6-pack.
The other thing I'm excited about is it'll be, you know, brought up later in the broadcast. There is a new team to the slider side, and we, I think, already have an alliance with them working at some
Go
tracks.
on,
So
tell
I'm
me
excited.
more about this.
I'm excited. We have a great team. I'm happy that I'm back. I'm excited to get the 43 back out on that track and, you know, kind of end where I was at Homestead, you know, really battling Patton for the lead, you know, late in the race. So
Were you,
I'm excited
though?
to bring more speed. I was.
I'm just messing. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm gonna send it over to Showtime. You here now?
Yeah, you get a copy?
Can you guys out in YouTube land hear Showtime now?
Showtime.
Give it
you
just
got
a second.
copy. Can you guys hear me in this chat?
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, yeah,
And
because I could hear you guys loud and clear a second ago, but I don't know why you couldn't hear me.
no, I could. You just weren't talking, right? So I heard you at first when you first said something, and then you stopped talking, and we're swapping in and out. All right, so we went over who you had on your team. I just said it real quick. I'm going to send it over to you to kind of...
Oh, you didn't? I was listening.
Huh?
You did? I thought you said you were just going to wait.
I
never
just
talked about anybody.
No, I didn't talk about anybody. I just said the names, bang, bang, bang. Right, so I'm leaving it up to you to talk about who you drafted so people can hear it from your mouth, and then we'll give you a grade and kind of talk about the team afterwards, but the mic's all yours.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Sorry about losing you guys. Man, first I'd like to circle back, man. I had a team last year, and I'd like to thank Billy Holcomb and Let Loose for running hard for our team, man. They, Loosey Goosey. We had a good run, man. He had a lot of good, solid finishes let loose on the slider side, and we were really happy to have him, man. I think he had some bad luck there at the end, kind of didn't get finished as well as he would have liked to, and you know, Billy made the final 4. We had 2 drivers in the final 6. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed those guys racing for me and the feedback they gave and giving it everything every week and showing up. But back to the picks. Yeah, we got Duh Jr. He's going to run the 24. Real happy to have him. We're going to have some high expectations out of him. He's going to have to really push and carry our custom side. He real fast, a lot of good finishes. We also got DK Brown on the custom side. Former pro leaguer, happy to have him. Always has speed. Can't seem to get away from him when I'm on the track. Then we also have from, let's see, I think this guy finished second in the B League, Slider B League. Long live the sauce. Really happy to have him. He's a Georgia boy. Won't hold that against him. He's also a Chase Elliott fan. He's really excited to step into the 9 car this year and hopefully take it to the front in the slider. And he's also going to run some of the custom because he's also eligible for that as well. And then myself, I'll also run the custom in the 48 car. And let's see, DK is going to be running the 88 car. And then we also have Brett the Jet, and he's going to be in our slider series. We haven't figured out what car he's going to be in yet. We're going to let him choose what he wants to do. And real excited for 2022. Hopefully we can get some good runs and have some good participation out of our group. You know, that was one of the big things for me when I was picking was, hey, who's gonna show up every week, you know, because it's a lot more to it. Yeah, it's a lot more to it this year than you know, just showing up on race day and being ready. You know, obviously you got guys that do practice. But now we've got to show up and get together and put these qualifying times in. And really excited about the team aspect of it all. Really excited. Hope my drivers are too. I know our chat's already been going. So we're real excited to get going and look forward to it. Showtime Motorsports in 2022.
Yeah, okay, so giving this team a grade on the custom side, I feel like you guys are pretty custom heavy. DK Brown, he's been struggling with some lag issues, lagging in and out of some races. But he's going to be fast. Long live the sauce. Surprise on the custom side. He actually has a little bit of speed over there. You yourself as a captain, Showtime, you're always a top solid driver. You made it to the round of 6 this season in the A custom. So I'm going to give your custom side an A. On the slider side, you can tell you want more with the custom than you did the slider. Long live the sauce. He is a top contender. He's going to be a threat every week in the slider side. Brett the Jet, I feel he's going to be fighting on that bubble line for having to qualify his way in on a weekly basis. He's a little conservative on the track, but I think it's a solid pick. I'm going to give the custom side of this team an A, and I would give probably the slider side a mid-grade, kind of like a B there. Shaq, and I'm going to send it over to you. Any of those names there stand out to you?
Definitely long live the sauce. I've raced with him before. He's definitely a top contender. You know, he kind of, if there's one driver that has bad luck when it gets caught up in everybody else's crashes, it's definitely him. But I think he's going to be the veteran top driver on that side of the grass, kind of bringing the A slider team to, you know, a higher competition over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The sauce needs a haircut, though.
Yeah, he needs something.
That was a deciding factor for me. I'm like, man.
All right, guys, so we're halfway through that 6 teams we have announced. There is 12 teams here in the draft. So the 6 teams, those are the teams those were all from last season. They picked in that order because they were all teams last year. Now the next 6 are all going to be new captains, newly formed teams. I'm excited to see what all 6 of these next teams have to bring to the league. One of the captains has stepped up and is in the process of making our new Discord that's going to be used for the 2022 season.
We can skip this team. We really don't care.
T-Bird, are you in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to go with the numbers that you chose. This one's all over the place. He's got the Roush cars, the 6 and the 17, keeping the Ford team alive. He has the 32. He's the one that made the trade, had Jacob, and traded, got the 32 core and a pick out of it. He also picked up the 73 Toyota and the 96 Toyota. With that said, T-Bird, I'm going to send it over to you to...
Did I teach you anything, kid?
Yeah. I'm going to send it over to you to announce your team.
All right. Thank you, Taddy, for that introduction. I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's all right.
Jesus. Anyways, I should probably just talk over and like blare that out. Anyways, so I'm going to start with the 96 because as the car I am personally driving on the slider side. I'm only a slider driver for the upper series, so that means I needed a guy on the custom side for the 96. And with that, we picked up Billy Holcomb to man that ride for Thursday nights. Absolutely
Billy and a Yoda.
Hey, he's the one.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick. I think I just lost you there, though. You still with us?
Nope. Hello?
Yep, got you back. All right.
Sorry. It came a bit off on the control.
Sounding like a F-16 taking off.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I picked up Billy. Really excited to have him. He knows a lot about custom setups and how to work them, and how he can help some of the other guys that we have on the team. Second, we went from Jose Protege to drive the 6 Roush Fenway car. Dual threat driver, sliders and customs. Ace was in the Ace slider last year, and then also just nearly won the B Custom Championship. Had a couple great runs at the end of the season, and he's really picked the pace up there. Also in the Roush field, for driving the 17, we have Keith Too Easy, a guy that I've personally raced with a bunch, and I know that at the very least he will show up and be a consistent driver for making the field. And then originally we went with JTR Jacob, but had a trade in there that I decided to make, grab another card for next year to have more spots for next season, or to pick up guys or whatnot. And with the final pick, we went with Memphis Phoenix to drive the 32 on the custom side. So that's 4 in the custom, 3 in the sliders for us. Very excited to have this team all around, some very good drivers on both sides. I'll hand it back over to you guys.
Yeah, good talk, guys.
So I guess I'll start with this. I'm excited for T-Bird.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
I was talking that whole time. I guess I didn't have my mic plugged in. Real quick before I send it over to you, Shackett, but the trade with Jacob, this was a good move. Jacob announced that he was going to be more part-time. So essentially T-Bird got Memphis out of this, as well as another car that he was able to put in his stable. Grade wise, I'm going to give this team all around an A-, both slider and custom side. I think they're pretty stout. I don't think they're the cream of the crop, so to say, but I think that the drivers have really good potential here. Jose Protege, fast everywhere he goes. Problem is his lag issue. People tend to not work with him because of lag. Keith, I think he's going to be struggling on the cutoff line. Memphis Phoenix, Billy, I actually see top 5 potential out of both of those drivers on a weekly basis on the custom side, and T-Bird always a threat on the slider side. So yeah, A- all the way around for this team. Over to you, Shackett.
So I'm definitely excited about this team. I'm excited to work with Keith. Keith and I have been friends for a very long time. T-Bird and I have also been friends for a very long time. I'm excited to see the KBB team or KDD team come to
DKK?
Yeah, whatever.
Because I don't know what you were just saying.
I'm getting there, okay?
They don't have a dang Chevrolet, and they got Yoda.
Shut up. This is my time, okay? You've had your time. So I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see this team come up because, like I was saying earlier, this is the team that we have an alliance with on the slider side. T-Bird and I have already worked out details. I'm going to be helping my guys. I'm going to be helping his guys. Kind of the guys that are kind of on the cutoff balancing. We're going to work with them, get them very fast, learn how to do not only, short run speed, but also long run speed. you know, what to change on the car and stuff like that. And it's kind of like a Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan kind of aspect here, because essentially T-Bird is the real owner of the team, but in another league, him and I are co-owners. I still think that transfers on into, you know, this league here. So I'm definitely excited all around to be kind of working together as teams, you know, because I'm known for plate track racing, so when it comes to plate track racing here in this league, nobody essentially wants to work with me because their first thought is get him out. We know he's a threat to win.
I don't think that's true.
I work with you. You work with me.
Okay, so let's go with this. So Justin is talking about himself and his own accolades when we're supposed to be talking about the team of T-Bird's DKK group. Right. Overall, I think that was a good pick by him, and you guys teaming up. That's actually going to work really well because, as I said, putting his team on the overall rating, probably sitting at the lowest so far that we've heard. But them teaming up with the caliber of T-Bird's team is definitely going to be a good move. We're going to continue on with the teams here. Robbie Racing now is not only going to be joining me as one of the main admins of the league, but is also going to be a captain. He has the Gibbs cars, as well as the 95. So he has the 11, the 18, the 19, the 20, the 51, and the 95. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Everything seems silent on my end. That's why I was just checking. All right, so Robbie right out the gate went with dual threat drivers. So Robbie himself qualified for both sliders and customs. He will be in the 11 machine. He drafted me. I will be in the 95, driving both the slider and the custom side. He then took Tiller, who is also a dual threat driver. So he will be driving the slider and the custom side. That is all that Robbie has for custom, is those 3 drivers. His next 2 picks, I really like these picks. He went slider only, so he's got a 5-team slider. He went with Wasted, formerly known as Chid-Ass Wasted. Was the points leader in the C slider group until he missed the last couple races. So I think that's a good pick, and somebody that we all love hanging out with and talking to. No longer GTR. Old Man Butters. He's going to be driving a Toyota, which he absolutely despises, but he'll be in the 19 car. And he's really looking forward to being able to work with some of the other guys, wheel settings, stuff like that. And I think he's going to be struggling to make that cut line top 16. But other than that, I think Butters is he's got a good learning team, good group around him to help him. I'm not going to rate this team because I'm on it, so that would seem lopsided. But because it's Robbie as the captain, probably a D would be about where we sit.
D minus.
Yeah. Over to you, Shaq. Or Puddin', you can even talk on this one if you want. I know Robbie's a good buddy of yours.
Yeah, no, this team, I obviously didn't even know about this team. I wasn't even aware that Taddy was stepping down as a kind of an owner on a team. But as far as sliders goes, B minus, and then on the other side of this spectrum, customs. I don't know much about customs. I've done customs here and there, so I'm not going to grade any custom sides because it's not something that I know. I love watching it because it's a lot of competitive racing, but I am going to be paying more attention, obviously, to the slider side of this, because yeah, as far as duels go, everybody on the slider side is a threat for the duels. So
yeah, I agree to that.
What you really got to watch for is fuel saving, and then Caddy moves that plate track with that team in the custom side. That's all you really got to watch out for.
Yeah, with
And
people
Robbie
that'll
goes
actually
back because,
listen,
you know,
with people
he's
that'll
back.
go with me on those crazy moves. I'm excited to see I'll actually have help out there with those moves.
I think that's the thing that Taddy needs to do is teach those guys when in watching how he makes those moves and learning when to go with him, because I think everybody in here at one point has worked with Taddy at a slider track or a plate track. You have to know when he is making that move. If there is a hole, you better be on his bumper because he is going for it. So I'm excited to see if they're going to be able to keep up to the caliber that Taddy has on plate tracks.
All right, so Shackett's nose is as brown as it can go right now. Listen, I appreciate it still. I like it.
Hate it here. Quoting the all-famous NRG, I hate it here.
Love you too.
All right, next is Denkate. You are in here, right?
Yes, sir.
This is not in order of the picks, right? Denkate was further down and Broom was last, but I'm going just slightly out of order. Apparently, I wrote their names differently. But Denkate, you are new captain this season as well. You picked the JTG cars, the 37. That car will always be in my heart. Love that 37 car. The 47, and then he also went with some Toyotas, the 49 and the 66 M3M cars. Actually, I think the 49 is a Ford. So you have a mix of all three manufacturers on your team. But I'm going to send it over to you on who you drafted.
Well, the 66 is the Ford and the 49 is the Toyota.
Yeah, I had that. Whatever. I knew one was Ford, one was Toyota.
It's all good. I went with a guy that I helped get into the league, and he was very great in the C Custom. He actually won the championship this season, which was old Johnny Boy, and he is also my slider pick. I have another C champion in Hamilton. He is driving. Oh, sorry. Old Johnny Boy's in the 47, and Hamilton will be in the 37 for the slider side. I myself will be in the 37 for the custom side, and then I have Palm Coaster in the 40 or in the 66, and Palm Coaster, or not Palm Coaster, sorry, Smooth Puppy. He is going to be in the 49 if I can get a hold of him.
Yeah, I'm going to go. So I think old Johnny Boy is real fast on the custom side, but in rating this team, I'm going to go with this one, even though it has more drivers on the custom side. I'm going to go with, I think that your guys' best points performances is going to come from the slider side. Old Johnny Boy is a top contender there in the C group. He showed me a lot this last season, but having Hamilton there, I mean, he is a former champion in the league. He was in the Final Four in the B group this past season. He helps me set up the lobbies. He's an all-around pretty decent driver here. I think that those two together on the slider side can really make some moves. On the custom side, Denkate, I mean, I think we all know that you're probably going to be struggling to make that cutoff line. Old Johnny Boy, he's quick. Smooth Puppy is somebody we're going to have to watch, but I think the surprise driver here on this team that may make some eyes open is going to be Palm Coaster in that number 66. So excited here. I'm going to give the custom side on your team probably a B-, and the slider side I'm going to give mid-grade, just a regular A.
Nice.
Over to you there. Over to you, Shackett.
I agree 100% with the rating on A sliders. With a little bit of broadcasting that I did for C on Sundays with everybody, old Johnny Boy was definitely one to watch out. Kind of Palm Coaster's kind of wild card for me, here and there. But yeah, I completely agree with the slider portion of that. I think it's going to be one to watch out, and definitely the one driver that I think is going to bring the caliber up on that team is Hamilton. With racing with him at Homestead, he was fast, and he knew where to put the car. So I have a feeling between him and Johnny Boy, they're going to be a kind of top 5, top 10 cars all season on A sliders.
All right. Probably your dad. You still in here?
Yep, I'm right here.
All right, so we're going to go, this is Josh Brimacombe. We're going to go to him now on the cars he picked. He's got the Rick
we
Ware.
can skip him.
Yeah. We got the Rick Ware cars, the 51 and the 53, and he also drafted the colleague number 16 car to his team. So I'm going to go ahead and send it down to you on who you picked there, probably your dad, and yeah, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so for the 53 car on the slider side, I went ahead and grabbed one of Taddy's old guys, RJ Smitty, just to make him drive that 53 for a second year in a row, because it's funny to me. And then I got on the for the 53 on the custom side, Went ahead and got Rub on him a lot. For the 51 on the custom side, I went ahead and got Nascar 82 FK. And 51 on the slider side. I didn't want him, but I also didn't want to hear him cry at me, was Spanker 24. And I'm the only one of the 16 I'm going to be driving on the slider side. I'm pretty happy with the selections I got. I think we're going to be pretty good. I think that we can compete right here, right now, and we can also improve. And hopefully they can go ahead and they can go ahead and put my poop box numbers up front, and I think we can.
Hey, look at that. Somebody's happy and proud of their team. I wish I was that way.
Yeah, listen, signing Spanker and Smitty, I don't know how you're going to be happy with that team.
I didn't want Spanker, but you know.
I mean, Smitty at Martinsville was pretty god-awful to watch this last season in that 53 car. Maybe that can turn around this season. Luckily, not all 30 races are Martinsville, so you may have a chance. Now, I'm just playing. Listen, on this team, I'm going to go this one slider heavy. Spanker, even though we talk so much smack about him, he is a top-tier driver. He was in the, I think he was in the B group with you this last season. He was running up front most of the season and top 5 every week with yourself, Hamilton, real fast speed there. But 2 top 5 drivers on the B side this last season with probably your dad and Spanker. Smitty was top 5 driver in the A group. So I'm going to give that slider side an A+ on the draft. I think that's a really good section. NASCAR 82 and rubbing them on the custom. I'm going to give that one just a B there. Rubdom's quick. NASCAR 82 is also quick, but they're quick at certain tracks, the tracks that they like. I think if they can work together and build a little more speed at tracks that they struggle at, then this team can be really successful over there. But right now I'm going to give the custom side just a B preseason. Over to you, Shackett.
Well, I'm excited to race with Dad again.
That sounds weird.
I'm probably going to keep it short and sweet because I have opinions and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings on some of the drivers on that team.
It's Spanker. You can just...
I mean, everybody knows that I'm not here to make friends, so it's whatever. Spanker, to me, is a very hot-headed, sometimes wild-card driver. Things happen on the track. He kind of holds grudges and retaliates during the race instead of talking it out after the race. So that's one driver that I'm kind of on the teeters with. And then RJ, raced with him for a long time. But as a whole, I know Taddy went A+. I'm going to be a B kind of graded guy on the slider portion of it. I definitely want to see more throughout the season before I just jump into an A+ range. No offense, Dad.
Oh, that's fine.
Man, can you call him probably or something? Like you of all people calling another man in this chat dad is weird to me.
I mean, my other dad is in here, Pudding, duh.
Right, so to go with what you said, yeah, I have a hard time rating those guys at a B. When you take top 5 talent, you know, personal actions with people, yeah, that might make you think differently, but I just, as far as the slider team, other than Patton with Mopar Cat, Monster Race in there, I don't see another slider team at the caliber of this one. Right, I think those are going to be the 2 teams on the slider side that battle it out on a week-to-week basis. Carrying on, we have 2 teams remaining. Broom is trying to get his internet reconnected, so I'm going to go Brinkerhoff, you in here?
Yes, I am.
All right, you got your voice on always allow, and are you on console or are you on phone?
I'm on the phone.
Okay, they may not be able to hear you in YouTube land on the phone, so let me find out. YouTube land, can you hear Brinkerhoff?
Hey, YouTube.
Anybody? We had that issue earlier with somebody trying to talk on their phone. Hello, YouTube. Can anybody hear us?
I get it. I couldn't get on the PlayStation right away.
Yes, I can hear him good.
Okay. All right. So Brinkhoff, he went with the RCR cars and the RCR affiliation, Germain. So he's got the 3, the 8, and the 13. Brink, I'm going to send it over to you to mention who you drafted, and the floor is all yours.
Well, we drafted Blaney first overall because he was the best available as far as a dual threat. He's going to race sliders and in customs. So, I mean, the rest of the way, it was pretty much who could fall to me because we were kind of deep in the draft. We were in the middle, which on a snake draft, you play fantasy football or baseball, you know, it's whoever you can kind of get, you know. It's we'd rather be on a bookend, but to get those like 2 picks fast in a row. So Blaney's definitely our best bet. He's going to drive the 3 car in both sliders and in the customs. I can't remember who I picked next, but I'll go to my chat so I can see our names.
You went with the 8 custom car next. Fire Slayer out there. YouTube said he can hear you,
Tennessee
unfortunately.
Titan for life. He's going to drive the 13. I think that's the sliders, though.
Yes.
And Jay McCown, but I don't know what his PSN name is because he didn't change it yet in our chat.
That's Mac attacking you.
He's going to drive the 8 in sliders.
That's Mac attack is Jay.
No, custom. I drive the 8 in sliders.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
That's Mac attack is in your 13 on the custom side.
Right, Mac attack on the customs is going to drive the 13.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like a couple of you guys that already said I don't know a ton of the customs. I took a lot of scouting reports from other people to try to make the decisions. So it's going to be a big learning process through the season for RCR, that's for sure. But we're definitely going to be competitive, and our goal is to stay inside of that top 16, which I think all of us can do in our respective, slider or in customs.
So this one's going to be an interesting grade for me, right? So Blaney is a dual threat, so I see where you went first with him. The interesting part about this was he was a B custom driver and a C slider driver, who is now coming to be the face of the team, right? Sludge last season all but made the final 4 in the A customs. He ended up in the final 6, and then he sat out the last race and let Mike RPM drive the 44 car. He raced for Puddin last season, and I think Sludge on that team is probably the fastest driver. But I think that Blaney's going to surprise a lot of people, as I believe he has all the potential in the world to be a top 5 driver on both customs and sliders. Real good talent there. I think that's a good pick that probably would have fallen another couple rounds, at least one more round probably, but I really think that's a solid pick, especially for a first rounder. Sludge, again, talked about his speed. Mac Attack, a little newer to the league. I find him as a top 15 driver in the customs. And 10 Titan for life, also I see him as a top 10 driver in the slider. So my overall grade for this team on both sides together, I'm going to go with a B+. I think this is a pretty well-rounded team, and I think on a consistent level, this team in whole will be battling about mid-pack on the team grades, about 6th, 7th place, probably battling in that ballpark throughout the season. This is just preseason grading, so things may change, but I see this as a pretty solid team. Justin?
Yeah, I don't really know much of those guys. I've raced with them periodically, so I'm gonna have to go with you on that rating as well, Taddy.
Okay.
I know for sure 10 Titan is fairly fast, if I could just interject, because I raced with him in another league. He's quite fast as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about Blaney and 10 Titan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, listen, I got 10 Titan as a top 10 driver, right? I just haven't seen him in the C group, and not seen him against probably your dad, Smitty, Private Pat, and Mo Power Cat, Robbie Racing, some of these real well-known fast slider drivers, Fire Slayer, Jose Protege, Picola Gator. I've never seen 10 Titan against talent at that level, and I think he has all the speed and all the potential in the world. I think he's going to have a learning curve the first half of the season, but then I expect probably by season's end to see him competing for top 5s a little more frequently. But that's just my personal opinion on the guy. That's nothing bad about him at all. I expect good things out of 10 Titan, and for you to get him, I think you got him in the 3rd round. I think that's a steal, a pretty good pick there.
He's actually one of the easier picks I had.
Yeah. Okay, we got one team left, and this is the team that a lot of people are going to be talking about, I think. Wayne Broom, he's not in here anymore. His internet crashed. Won't be back until about 2 p.m. Broom is a new team. He had the 12th pick in the draft. And because he had the 12th pick in the draft, that also means he had the 1st pick in the 2nd round. Again, we talked about the snake draft. And the 2 drivers that he landed right out the gate, I can't believe they were even still on the board. One of these drivers actually got picked up, but drivers were allowed to deny their pick one time, and so this driver did use that. But It's Your Bro Chase was denied his pick earlier in the draft and fell to number 12. He'll be driving the number 42. Oh, speaking of which, I should probably put the cars on the screen. Sorry, forgetting I'm doing the actual broadcast and not just talking. Right, so Broom has the 1, the 7, the 42, and the 77. So he's got a random group of numbers. Let me find one of those cars to put on the screen here. There's the 42. All right. So, right, It's Your Bro Chase landed number 12 overall. Number 13 overall was Word Burton. On the custom side, that's about as stacked as you can get, having those two as your drivers. And then Broom himself is a custom-only driver, so good section there. On the slider side, little surprised he fell this far. Well, first he went with Old Guy, right? So that was his third pick, was Old Guy. His fourth pick was Dank Booty Flakes. That's another driver that I feel a top 10 caliber driver on a week-to-week basis, right? So Dank Booty and Old Guy on the slider side, Broom, Word Burton, and Bro Chase on the custom side. Custom side, I don't know how you don't give that an A+ with Word Burton and Bro Chase. And on the slider side, Dank Booty and Old Guy, I'm going to give that, I'm going to probably go with a B there. I think Dank Booty has a top 10 caliber, and Old Guy is going to be battling for that 15th, 16th locked in spot. But good talent all the way around on this team.
Yeah, slide or a custom side, A+. Absolute A+ caliber team. It's stacked. If there's one custom team that is going to be there every week to compete for the title, I mean, Broom himself, I don't know how he can do it, but there's just sometimes that he can just leave the field behind and make it seem like he's got turbo or something on his car. And then as far as the A slider goes, I'm going to go B-. I agree with Old Guy. You know, he's going to be kind of on the teeter, you know, battling to keep staying there.
Those dogs disagree.
And then Dank Booty Flakes, I know him very well. I think that as far as talent went, on the B side, he was great. I say yes to top 10. Maybe a couple of races, but I think with the caliber of drivers that he's now stepping into, he's going to have to put more focus and more effort towards learning a little bit more about it. So I go B-.
All right, so Puddin', I heard you try and say something. Go ahead, I'll send it over to you.
Oh, I was just saying, good picks over there, obviously, but again, one of those guys that you've seen wild raced with him in many other leagues is Old Guy. Old Guy has definitely improved over the years, become very fast. You know, he raced over there in Misfits, and father of RJ too, so they just the good picks of the RJ. I mean,
that's his downfall, being the father of RJ.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give a quick rundown so you guys hear the whole name. We're going to start with the sliders. Drivers, we have Mopow Cat, Private Patent, Monster Racing, Guardian, Fire Slayer, T-White, Warpig, Bad For You, Long Live the Sauce, Brett the Jet, P-Cola, GTR Beatty, GTR Jacob, Justin Shackett, Tackleberry, The Dirty Dog, Jose Protege, Keith, T-Bird, Robbie Racing, Wasted, Old Man Butters, Tiller, Aquataddy, Old Johnny Boy, Hamilton, Probably Your Dad, Spanker, Smitty, Dank Booty, Old Guy, Blaney, Brinkerhoff, 10 Titan. That's going to do it on your slider side. That's a lot of drivers, and I didn't hear any one driver that I'm hearing this and saying, oh, they're going to be off pace. I think that's as stacked of a slider series as you can get. Going to the custom side, we have Guardian, Flash 9, Bad Fast Marley, Mike RPM, Racehead, Warpig, Long Live the Sauce, Duh, Showtime, DK Brown, P-Cola, Street Machine, SBR Bridges, Maverick, Travis Tyson, Hegon, Jose Protege, Keith, Memphis Phoenix, Billy Holcomb, Robbie Racing, Tiller, Aquataddy, Denkate, Old Johnny Boy, Smooth Puppy, Palm Coaster, NASCAR 82, Rubbin' 'em a Lot, Broom, Word Burton, It's Your Bro Chase, Blaney, Sludge, and Mac Attack. Again, what a stacked field. I said that I was going to go over some rules here, and real quickly, I want to get it out there, the qualifying. Any captain that's in here and still has some questions, this is going to be how the season starts. Next Sunday, the Xfinity Series will both be racing. The custom side is going to start at 6:30 Eastern Time, sliders at 8. They're just going to do regular group qualify. Everybody's in there. I got roll calls going already so I can get the drivers list made. Then on the following Tuesday and Thursday, respectively, Sunday, I will put out the starting order for the duels. It's going to be a random draw for all the drivers. You're going to split it in half. Top 12 from each duel advance into the big show, and then the 25th starting spot is going to go according to whoever was highest in points. So on the custom side, for example, Mike RPM, he's going to be locked into the show after winning a title. Basically, he's the only one guaranteed. After that, right, so that'll be Daytona. Every week after that, yes, there's like 40 cars in each side, right? You and your team will get together. You'll do a single car qualify at 4%, one-time wear, single track. And how am I going to make sure that this is done properly? When you send me when your captain sends me the picture. Now, keep in mind, you guys can make as many qualifying runs as you want throughout the week. But once your captain gives me that picture, your time is locked. It is finalized. If you can't race that week and you send me a qualifying time, you get points. If I don't get a qualifying time and you don't show up, you get 0 points. Top 16 in points after Daytona are locked into the show. Everybody else will be qualifying for 17th to 24th starting position. The 25th spot is going to be like the old school provisional. That will go to whoever's highest in points that did not qualify their way in. With that said, yes, we're going to have people that don't make the show, and they're going to struggle on a weekly basis to do that. I got to say something. If this is the custom setup, right? So everybody's had this game for 2 years now, and everybody has these race setups that are hot rods and can go long runs, and a lot of people don't do the qualifying method. We want to bring some excitement back into these teams of building setups and working on qualifying together. And maybe your qualifying on the slider side is trying literally every single slider, because it's going to be going out there and proving that everybody wants to be in the top series. Well, you're in the top series. But now making the show is proving that you belong in that top series. And Daytona, there won't be single car qualifying. And with it being broken up, find your buddies and get your way into the top 12. Think about it this way. There's only going to be 20 drivers per duel. You have to beat 8 of them. You have to finish in the top half of the pack in order to make the show for Daytona and prove that you belong at Daytona. So I like it. I think it's going to bring some excitement here. I do expect that some drivers are going to get mad and probably either leave or request to drop down to Xfinity, and in which case that's where the waiver wire order will pick up, where we start picking up some of the guys from the C group as long as they're top 12 in points, proving that they belong down there. Secondary to this, I don't know what else to say other than, right, so if the racing's really good at 25 cars, if we have 1 caution or 2 cautions at Daytona with 25 cars, that says to me the drivers can handle it. The next week might be 26 cars. The car count will fluctuate according to the racing. If the racing is god-awful, we'll lose a car. If the racing is really, really good, we'll gain a car. The end goal for any league should always be able to have the max amount of cars on there and put on the best show. Yes, 10, 12 cars is really, really good racing, but could you imagine being one of the first leagues to run 38 drivers on the track at once that all have the caliber and talent that this league does, and see green flag racing from start to finish?
Yeah, somebody commentates, I do not want to see no 38 cars on the track.
Yes, you do.
Why in the heck I keep everything deciphered and taught?
I need more bottles of water.
Yeah.
And air.
Mom, meatloaf.
I mean, realistically, right, guys, that's hold on just a second. Robbie messaged me something. He said the Gibbs racing team looking to have a potentially great season. We have strong drivers, and we're just going to let our racing do the talking. Well, I'm pretty mouthy also. I'll probably say a few things. We got trades offered in the captain's chat.
Shaq is up to trade if anybody wants. Let me know.
Yeah.
You better shut up right now.
I mean, so realistically, right, the only big change that we're doing this season is we dropped the B group, but you got to have somewhere for the drivers to go. So they all have the opportunity to race in the top series. We promised the C guys top 12s that they could advance. They have advanced. They're up there. Again, everybody wants to be known as a top driver in the league. And this is the way for everyone to really announce, I'm not a C caliber driver. I might have raced there last season, but I'm top of the list A driver. 10 Titans, for example. He is one of the faster drivers out there. Wasted, really fast driver. But where do they rate against drivers like Mo Power Cat, RJ Smitty? It's time we find out. And I really think that this is going to be a fun, unique way of running the league. Do you guys agree or disagree in here?
I agree.
I totally agree.
It's going to be a good season.
No, I think it's going to be a great season with the new qualifying format. I'm kind of on the same basis as you are, Taddy. Now you're here. Now prove why you're here.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to explain, right? So
captains have to qualify with their team. I forgot.
No, you just have to have a representative. Your team the picture comes to me from the captain. You personally do not have to be on the track.
I was just going to say, obviously, as a...
Right, you could send Shaq it out on the track. You don't even have to do the qualifying. You could just, do lap 1 and then go on pit road. You know what I mean? Just park the car, just start a lobby, let those guys go. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, there's no drafting. I can tell whether or not you drafted via the time. When a person sends me the picture, as long as it says single track up in the top left and all the settings are right, then I know you can't change it because the game doesn't let you change it when it's on single track in 4%. So that's how I'm going to know people aren't cheating. The drafting together, that's going to be clear. You'll be 2/10 faster than everybody else on a single car. Right. The other thing I want to go over with the qualifying aspect, if you don't make the show, say you're the first guy out, 25 guys make the field. Actually, one of those drivers may have qualified 35th, right, but still make it because he was the guy locked in on the next highest in points that didn't make the show. If you qualify and you miss the race, if you qualified 25th, you will receive 25th points. If you qualified 27th, you will receive 27th place points. So those positions still pay. So by simply putting your qualifying time in every single week, that position that could come up for grabs at the end of the season, the provisional spot, could be 25th. And by just simply putting qualifying time in, and even if you're missing the show every week, but you're qualifying 25th to 30th, you're moving yourself up in points and giving yourself a chance at racing. The only difference is you're not going to have the stage points, okay? So keep working on it. Keep going out there. Keep qualifying. You guys have a full week to work on these qualifying setups and or on the slider side. Just get into the lobby a whole bunch of times. Try the different sliders. You guys can pit. You can do whatever you want during these stages. You can literally... It's 4%. Some tracks be 11, 12 laps. You can pit the first 8, 9 laps to make sure that you had enough time to get in there and do your setup, and then go out there and run 2, 3 hot laps. Burn your fuel if you want to. Low fuel run, however you want to do it. It's not going to be that low because it's 1% or 1x wear. That's the point of that, right? But just stick with it. That's really all that I can say. Yeah, I mean, I might not even make a race, right? But if I don't make a race, I'm not gonna bitch and moan that, oh, I didn't make a race, right? I'm gonna try to go fast for the next week. And at the end of the day, that should be everybody's goal. Is if you're struggling to make the races, when you do finally make a race, it's going to be that much sweeter. That every track we go to this season, it will be the 25 best and fastest drivers at that track that the league has to offer at this time. So when you say you're racing in the top dog series of GC Sports, you are racing against some of the best in the game at that track. And it'll be an honor to make the races and the point system and everything. And really, I don't know what else to say other than good luck to all the drivers and all the teams this season.
Yeah, I'd like to get my rating. I think you guys missed over my rating, just in case I need to.
Is that War Pig?
Sliders.
Is that
Yes,
War
sir.
Pig? Yeah, I didn't really start doing the ratings until we got down to Chase Beatty's team.
Yeah, I just want to see if I need to get a little physical with you on the track.
Listen, Mike
What's
and
your
Ray
rating?
said on the custom side, those were 2 of the final 4 drivers. Again, kind of like the Bro Chase and Ward Burton, I don't know how you don't give that an A+. I think, no offense, the weakest link on this team on the custom side is you yourself, War Pig. But I'm going to give you an A+ because it only takes 2 drivers to get the points for your team. On the slider side, T. White, I think, is your underdog over here. I think the top 2 drivers on this side is going to be Bad For You and you yourself, War Pig. Bad For You, I think, is a top 5 driver. You, I find, is a top 15 driver. T. White, I still need to see more out of him. I'm going to go with a B- on the slider side.
I'll take it.
I agree.
It's fair.
Just stay in it at all
Okay,
times.
so I'm not
going
gonna.
to stay
Yeah,
in it.
boys, and don't worry, I won't spin you. You're good.
I mean, you can still spin. You can still spin me.
You can go away. All right. It's gonna be a good season, boys. Good season.
Also, I just want to reiterate to the drivers that have a hard time qualifying their way in, as long as the racing is good, I'll start adding more cars, right? You're still going to have to qualify your way in, but instead of 17th to 24th, it might be 17th to 30th that you're qualifying for, and only 5 or 6 people are going to miss out on the races, right? So, at the end of the day, it's up to the drivers to make this a success, right? We come up with a plan that should be the best. You know, I say the best, like get the fastest guys out there, the most deserving guys out there. But at the end of the day, it's always up to the drivers themselves to make the racing and the league what it is. And to this point, I mean, everybody in this league, admins, captains, drivers, you guys have done a great job. We broadcast this for you. And again, good luck this season. And also, remember, this is a 30 race season. This isn't those quick 8 to 10 race seasons. You have every track that the game offers you to drive is in the game. And so you will have drivers qualifying their way in. Maybe some is a road course ringer. Maybe some super speedway specialist, right? So everything is going to matter, and everybody will hit those tracks that they like in their fast rap. But that also means you might be struggling to make the race on those tracks that you don't like. I think it's going to be fun, and then every season we'll re-randomize the schedule. The only guaranteed track is going to be Daytona. Other than that, we don't know what track's going to be at what location in the schedule. So tune in, guys. 30 races. The Xfinity runs the same schedule. There'll just be a week ahead of the Cup Series every week, simply because we're doing the duels for the Cup Series. That's the only reason that's going to vary. Also, that's going to allow the race winner only from the Xfinity Series an opportunity to come up and try to qualify their way into the race as well. So, any questions from any of the captains in here?
You might have touched on this, but qualifying, you still have to do top 16 if you're trying to make the pole and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
so listen, you still have to put a qualifying time in. It doesn't matter if you're first or you're 16th, you have to put a qualifying time in. If you don't put a qualifying time in, you're not locked into the show under that aspect. There is no guarantee. If you do not put a qualifying time in, that says to me you have no intentions of racing that week, which means you will receive 0 points, drop yourself out of the top 16, and that's not my fault. That's your fault for not taking 2 minutes throughout the week and putting in a qualifying time. Also, yes, the poll does give a playoff point for the end of the season, so that's another huge thing, is to be able to sit on the poll. However, we are not giving a poll time for the duels at Daytona. That's the one race we will not be giving a poll award to. Does that answer that?
It does.
Okay. Out there in YouTube land, any questions? We're going to stay on air until about 2 or 3 more minutes here. Then we'll be getting off. So, any questions, comments, concerns, let us know out there. Still got a bunch of live viewers. And captains, you guys are in here with me still if you have any questions. And Shackett, whatever you are.
No, I'm kind of going back on the, what you were saying, depending on how the racing goes, adding cars each week. If anybody watched A-Siders from last season, yes, there was only at the most 12 drivers, and Pudding can probably touch on this as well, but there was hard, fast racing, but it never resulted in a caution being brought out. So, there were a lot of races where it was bumper to bumper, door to door, and I had some of the best racing of my life last season in A-Siders, because it was we were bumping each other but not wrecking each other, so there were races that went completely caution free. So I think if it happened last year, I have a feeling that we can do it this year and work our way up to getting more people into the show.
Yeah,
Something I want to see this year, like you just talked about too, is with the smaller fields, right? It was great racing, but moving up, and we've seen it in the past. People's egos, people's attitudes, they all change when you get that many people on the track. They all think they've got something to prove. Remember, it's one race at a time, a long-ass season. There's no need to go out and, quote-unquote, show, attitude or anything, or have a problem with anybody. Shake it off and come back next week,
Yeah, I mean, right, so all 3 series last season. The A group had 12. That was by design. Only 12 had advanced to the A group. The B group had 18, but on average about 15 were showing up. And they were the same as you were just talking about with the A group, right? You had separate packs, but in each pack, the racing was really phenomenal. The C group actually had that. They had large car counts, so there tended to be a few wrecks, but they didn't have cautions, right? So no cautions come out, obviously. But, I mean, I've seen some really good racing there, too. And so the drivers have the talent. It's just putting it all together to make this a success, right? And if on lap 1, you don't need to go from 12th to 1st in turn 1. You have a 50% race. On average, you're going to have 30 to 40 laps per stage, if not longer, to make your way up. And if you start 25th, you only need to get in the top 10, right? You don't have to aim for 1st. You just need top 10 on average on these stages to get some stage points, right? And you have plenty of time. You have a really long season. There's no reason to push the issue. And if you drive it like it's your own car, as the field separates, you're going to be able to make passes a lot easier. Trying to pass 10, 12 cars on the first 2 laps, yeah, they're all together, and people are going to make mistakes. Don't take the 3 wide on the first lap. Let that guy correct his car and then go. Most of the big wrecks that I see in big field racing is when somebody makes a mistake, somebody pushes the issue to get around while they're still correcting the car. Contact gets made, and that guy was already out of control and ends up wrecking and collecting everybody that was behind him. Just let people correct the car. I mean, it's really a simple concept. And I myself, I got to learn that too, right? Like, it's going to be a learning curve for all the drivers out there, but I think it's going to be fun and successful season. And I really think that if we can ever get to where we have 38 cars on the track, that will separate GC Sports from other leagues. And everybody always says quality over quantity, and I say, why can't we have both?
I wanted to add to Taddy because
Amen to that.
Taddy asked me to put together, and I've showed him a rules chart. It's not the name of it for it, but it was basically if people are out there and they're racing like jackasses, or even at a particular moment they become a jackass, that's what we're looking to avoid. So there will be penalties that are for severe, guys who break the rules severely. Obviously, the physics of the game come into play, and one day we hope to have a game on the system that doesn't have the physics issues that NASCAR Heat has shown. But with that said, we've all been playing this game for over 2 years. We've all been racing on this for over 2 years. So nobody here really has the excuse of, well, I wasn't really where I didn't know. We've all been doing it. It's a 2-year process. We're not new at this. So like he said, we can have quantity and quality because we are respectable racers. We're all here because Taddy respects us. We're all here because we've been in other leagues, either with him or around him, and the rest of each other. So the respect out there, I used to tell one of my old leagues, you got to race out there like you think you're going to die, because that's how real race car drivers race. This might hurt me if I make this move. In a video game, we don't quite have that, but you kind of have to put that in your head. Is this something that's going to hurt? Is this something that's going to, the people up in the booth, the people that are watching, are going to see the move I made and say, oh, well, look at that jackass. So I think that has to be in the back of your head as you're making moves, as things occur in front of you. Like you said, you can't go from 12th to 1st. Try to go from 12th to 11th and see what happens after that.
Yeah,
I'll be the first one to penalize somebody on my team for making a jackass, dumbass move. You know what I mean? Like, everybody,
Right.
we've done it, we've seen it. But you do something stupid, I'll straight pull you off there, because I'd rather have a team that has a lot of fun and shows up and has a lot of respect than somebody's like, oh great, Shaq and her dirt dogs here, I better put on 3 extra helmets today,
Well,
I
and
think
Fred,
that
so
happens
Don't be
Anyway.
afraid to say, I'm sorry, when you do make a mistake.
listen,
Yes, exactly. I mean, man up to a mistake sometimes, that also goes a long way.
in the past, everybody was guaranteed in the race, right? And so because of that, on track, you can start acting a little different, right? Because next week you're guaranteed to race again. You also only had 8 to 10 races, so you had to be really, really aggressive to get those playoff points and the stage points and all that every race, every time you got into a stage. 20 races of the regular season is going to make it where it's not as important to if you miss one stage or 2 stages in a race, right? And you get a decent finish. Also, though, the dropping out of the top 16 in points right? That's going to make it a little more questionable when you make those moves coming to the white flag or the checkered flag. Like, is it the risk worth the reward? I'm going to take it 3 wide and try to pass these 2 guys for 4th, or if I wreck, now I'm in 19th place out of the 25 and in risk of dropping out of the top 16 points, which would lock me in, right? So I really think that all of this adding up together will give different mentalities for the drivers to hopefully keep it clean. Also, somebody mentioned the penalties earlier. We used to do 5-10 point penalties because everybody was guaranteed small fields. We wanted to keep everybody together, right? That's not a thing anymore. Those little slap on the wrist saying don't do that anymore, that's not happening anymore. If you do something wrong, you're going to be penalized severely. We're talking 50 to 100 points at minimum. Things that would take you 3 races to make up for what you're doing on track. And the reason is I don't want somebody up there being a jackass on a weekly basis thinking that it's okay and being guaranteed into the race the next week and doing it again the following week. No, if you do something wrong, your points will reflect that you're doing stuff wrong, and you'll be having to qualify your way in week after week after week.
I like it.
Did you hear that, Puddin'?
Yeah, I'm coming after you.
But with that said, guys, we're not getting any more questions out in the YouTube land. I think we hit everything on the head really well, for the most part. Start time for the A group, again, we're going to stick with 8 o'clock. Lobby gets set up 7:50 now because we don't need to do the qualify. 7:50 the lobbies will get set up, and then 8:05 will be going green. You will be invited in order. That's why with the 25. And then on top of that, you're going to have the C group, the Xfinity. I keep saying C group. It's not C group. It's the Xfinity series. They'll be going. 6:30 is the customs. That means the lobby will get set up at 6:10. 10 minutes. Right.
You explained that the Xfinity's non-team. It's mano a mano.
Yeah,
right?
non-team, and the captains are eligible to drive in the Xfinity series. Everybody else will be in a custom car. Captains are eligible to drive in that so that they can do scouting with there, and you will be running a custom car so the drivers know who the captains are.
How soon and eligible can a C driver be drafted up or moved up if there's available open cars?
We're going to go with after the 3rd week. I'll let people get brought up, but you must be the only
Was that
people.
brought up earlier? I meant to ask.
Yes, yeah, it was brought up earlier. After 3 weeks, any driver in the top 12 in points is eligible to be brought up. But here's the thing: only a driver in the top 12 in points is eligible, and you can deny that being brought up one time by a captain. You can, if you deny a team captain, for example, Puddin reaches out and wants to sign somebody, and that somebody says, no, I don't want to drive for you, that is the only time you can say no to that individual captain. However, if scheduling and or you decide you want to stay in Xfinity for points, if you deny somebody the second time, you will not move up until the season's end. Period. You will race Xfinity.
Can you bump one of your drivers down and let's say drafted
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. These drivers
you can only do it if you lose a driver, right?
No, everybody that has an open car can sign somebody. But listen,
that's what I was. Okay.
The drivers that are in
So
Cup,
I guess Shackett and Travesty and Dirt Dog, they're all safe, right?
a driver that's in Cup right now has earned their way in. But I'm also going to say to the captains out there, be wary of signing these guys late in the season, because the bottom 15 drivers at the end of the season will be dropped back down to Xfinity.
Woo!
Copy that.
With that said, I think that covers everything. We have 1 minute before 1:30 Eastern time, and at that time, I'm shutting this broadcast off because I have better things to do than talk to these guys.
And I just want to say, Puddin', I want to say, Puddin', don't even bother calling our friend in the UK. I've already reached out and to partner up, so.
We already have a partnership. We don't need you.
Yeah, well, that was new to me too.
I'm just kidding.
Things you fucking wake up too late and find out.
You're welcome. I run this team. You're just the face of the team.
It's gonna be a good season, boys. It's gonna be fun.
All right, Brinkerhoff, let's talk.
So, I'm Aquataddy. I'm your CEO. Justin Shackett, he's just a driver.
Hi.
You know where to find me.
Yeah, he was in
Yep.
here joining us for this broadcast. Thanks to all the captains that came in, spent their time, helped us out this. Thanks to all the viewers out there that watched this for an hour and a half. That's a long one, but now you know who's on the drivers and what we expect out of the talent this season, and it should be a good one. So tune in next Sunday. The season will start with this custom Xfinity, and then the slider Xfinity. And to anybody out there, these races will be labeled. The giggity side is customs, the cringe side is sliders, and no, we're not changing the name of the league. We are GC Sports. The G is giggity and the C is cringe. That's what it stands for, and we're going to try to put a little photo out there for a thumbnail on the YouTube so you guys can start being able to tell the difference. That's the only reason we're doing giggity and cringe, is to make it where you guys can find it on YouTube easier when you want to go back and watch your own race. With that said, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Yeah, that's it.